100 points. So we need to understand how devastating a 30-day late payment is. And a 30-day late payment happens if you fail to make the payment before the next due date. So it doesn't happen if the bill was due today and you paid it, a couple of days late or a week late. Of course, you're going to get hit with a late payment fee from the creditor, but it doesn't get reported to the bureaus as a 30-day late. Now, if I fail to make today's payment before next month's due date, that's a 30-day late payment. And again, one 30-day late payment can drop your score somewhere between 20 and 60 points. If you have something that goes into collections, we see this all the time with medical billing. If something goes into collections, you could easily lose 100 points, and it may be a $35 copay that, by principle, people say, I'm not going to pay it because it was supposed to be paid by the insurance company or somebody was. And what happens is they stand on the principle and they fight this, but what they should do, and I say this again, unfortunately, with a grain of salt, is they need to make the payment and then fight it out. Because whether or not you win or lose the battle, if it gets reported on your credit report, the damage is done, and it's going to wind up costing you more than the $35 that you were fighting in the first place.
Okay, so I have two very important questions that I think listeners would want to hear. Number one question is, are you better off making the payments on your credit card, or are you better off paying them off every month?
That is a great question and certainly widely misunderstood. You're kind of splitting hairs here, but believe it or not, it's actually better to keep small balances. And when I say small, I mean less than 10%. Anything less than 10% is actually a little bit better for your overall credit rating than paying them off in full.
But you do get interest charges on those, correct?
Exactly. So this is where, I've been down to Washington, D.C., and I've spoken at government affairs conferences, and I say, but aren't we forcing the hands of the consumer to pay interest rates that, they shouldn't normally have to pay? But the scoring model tells us that if you carry small balances, less than 10%, it's gonna be better off for your overall score. So again, keep them as low as possible. Keep 2% on there, and I know paying interest rate on that is okay. But if you're in a position where the window of time you're going to try and refinance a home or purchase a home or purchase an automobile, the positive impact of carrying those small balances might get you a far better interest rate. Sometimes auto financing goes down to 0%. So you could certainly save money that could justify carrying those small balances in that window of time that you were looking for financing.
Okay, and then the second question I have is, are more credit cards better for your credit or fewer cards?
Well, they need to be open and active, and this is a great question for the listeners. If you're going to have credit cards, they need to be open and active. Having open inactive credit cards, numerous open inactive cards, is scary to the bureaus. So it might not lower your score, but it could certainly create a lower ceiling for the score. So the cards that you've had open and active for the longest, you should keep them open and active because credit history is a big part of your credit score. So closing a credit card does two things. You lose the credit history that was associated with that card, and you lose whatever available credit you had on that credit card. So if your utilization ratio that we spoke about before was borderline, and you close a credit card, and you just lost $10,000 of available credit, now your utilization ratio could go from, let's say, 25% to 45%. And certainly your scores would plummet at that point. So keeping 2 or 3 open active cards is probably the best for most consumers.
Wow. So I know you talk about that it's tough for Americans to get a handle on their finances. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just think it's the culture, everything that's happening in this country, depending upon where you live, keeping up with the Joneses. It's not easy to live here and do all the things that certainly our children want to do and the lifestyles that we lead. So we were brought up in this era where if you didn't have the money to pay for it, you put it on a credit card. And if you didn't, pay for the credit card, you let it go into default. And it almost became the American way to live way above our means and certainly live, saddled with credit and credit card debt specifically.
Well, I do think that many young people today exist on their credit cards. I mean, that seems to be the way things are going. But I do want people to be able to find where you are, Paul. So your website is betterqualified.com, correct?
That's correct.
And you have, I assume, a lot of information there that would be useful to consumers. Is that true?
There's everything that we've kind of spoken about here, all of the credit do's and don'ts, some do-it-yourself stuff, because people always ask me, Paul, can I fix my credit myself? And I say, yes, you can. But, CBS did an awesome documentary on the credit reporting industry, and it's not easy. So I say, if you're going to try and do it yourself, be prepared for a long battle. Be prepared and be proactive and make sure you keep written records and date and time stamps and use certified mail, and make sure you hold the bureaus and the original creditors accountable to respond to you in a timely manner and to give you what you're asking, because the bureaus, TransUnion just went public today. They raised over $600 million, and they're a ginormous corporation, and they don't really care about breaking the law. There are things that have been proven by the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, has really stepped in and said, wait a second, the margin for error, the amount of errors that are on people's credit reports. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I will tell you that it's over 90% of the reports that we look at for people that contact us. When we look at the report, they say, well, I paid that 5 years ago. That's not my account. I was never made. And, that's not so the inaccuracies are above 90% of the credit reports that we look at. And just think about that. When those types of errors have, such a dramatic impact on the credit scores.
Well, that's true, and I believe that, and I know that I pulled a credit report myself, and I found that there were many inaccuracies, so I totally agree with you on that. And so, if you want to get a hold of Paul, because you can see and hear that he is a wealth of information, go to betterqualified.com. That's where you'll find him, and that's where you can learn more about him. Now, we've got about a minute left, so is there anything special you want to tell us in this last bit of time we have?
Well, if you'd like, any of the listeners, not only can you just go to the website, we offer a free credit consultation and an analysis, a free credit report that we would also provide to the consumer. So if you haven't looked at your credit report in the past 30 days, 60 days, sometimes it's crazy. People say, Paul, I haven't looked at it in years. You should do so. And again, there's no obligation. We pull the report, we go through it line by line, and there's lots of stuff that we can do, just telling the person what to do, what not to do, give them phone numbers to call, people to reach out to. And if you have debt, collections, judgments, charge-offs, tax liens, those are really areas that I would suggest that you allow a professional to give you some guidance and advice before you contact those people, because the debt collectors that are operating in this country are not nice people.
That's true. Well, you've heard it from the expert. Thank you so much, Paul, for being with us today. And this is Dr. Gail Carson thanking you for listening to Living Regret-Free, the show that gives you skills and techniques to achieve a regret-free life. Don't live a life of stress and negativity when you could be experiencing a life of joy, happiness, and reward. Our guests all have valuable tips to make your life a better one. Did you enjoy this week's show? Then join us next week for more exciting and informative guests on Living Regret-Free. I would love to hear from you as to people you'd like on the show, questions you have for me, and you can email me at Gayle, Gayle Carson 13 @gmail.com, or go to my website, spunkyoldbroad.com.